Peace, 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 family. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. Just wanted to come on here to talk about the Virgo Full Moon. But before I get into that, I have a few announcements to make. I'm making a lot of changes to my services and website. So I'll start my March newsletter on the 1st. That's going to give all the details of everything new that we're doing. I'm trying to really capture my services and what I do and build them together to for the content to match the services. So you'll see, if you go to my Patreon page, you can see that I've changed a lot of things and the services and the amounts. The first tier on Patreon comes with which is the Cosmic Community, which comes with a Facebook group now. So if you're paying $5 a month for horoscopes, these are people who love horoscopes, general information updates. You'll get that and so much more when you join the community, as I'll be posting things and letting you know what's going on. So you'll basically be the first to know anything that A Way of Life is doing. And the second tier is for people who want to learn your personal astrology. So this is very specific to you and your chart. So what you can do there is upload your chart. You can't upload your chart to Patreon, but if you sign up to that tier, it'll allow you access to me, questions. You can do a one-on-one and have the opportunity to converse back and forth with me about your chart. Just learning the basics of what's in your first house and each house of your chart, what that means specific to you. And I'm going to start doing lives a lot more where I have, you'll actually see that on the 28th. I'll be going live with Astro Boy, where we'll be talking about his astrology cards, which, by the way, I never even knew there was a thing. As a Gemini, I love games, so this makes it a fun way to learn. So I'll be doing more lives in relation to the cards. I just bought my own set of cards, so I'm really, really excited to be working with him, doing that live where he's going to give me a live reading to show how he uses the cards. And I will continue doing lives on a monthly basis in relation to, just that basic astrology, right? And then I'll probably upload those lives right to that link. So you'll have it right there for you, for your knowledge. They won't be long. I'll try to keep my messages short and concise. I know as adult beings, we have attention spans that are it's just 2 seconds. So I'll be mindful of that. But really just trying to get myself out there a little bit more, and again, be more concise to the services that I have. The last and final tier that I have, the third tier, which is specific to your life path, which is my passion. I am so excited and pumped about this. So that will consist of a private Facebook group where I will literally be teaching you your cosmic blueprint. So again, this is personal to you, your career path, your business path, trends, and it won't be that long. I have the class set up for 2 weeks, and that'll start in April, just in time for the nodes of fate reactivation to see what's going on. I think this is going to be so exciting. And basically what we'll be doing is breaking down your chart to understand it for you. So I'll have worksheets, things for you to do. Astrology is very personal. It's very intentional. So the best way to learn is to learn yourself first, and if that grows into anything else, I have a bunch of resources where you can go to learn more about astrology. It's not something that I intend to teach in that kind of way, but I do like the personal aspect of it. which I think is really just a great way to get in tune and aligned with who you are, your purpose in this lifetime. Which is really what your life path is really all about. Understanding where you came from, what karmic paths do you have, what blockages do you have, and how you contend with those. How do you step into your power? So the class will consist of a lot of homework, but it's conducive to yourself, so it's a little bit more fun. And we'll come back and do really cool, exciting, fun games. To show how we're learning, a vision board, you're mapping out for your plan. I think it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for people who are interested in that type of thing. Can't wait to announce all of these things. I doubt if it'll be done by March 1st, but we will be announcing all of that in our newsletter. So if you're interested in getting a newsletter, be sure to sign up on the website. That's A Way of Life, and life is spelled LYFE.net. Okay. I think that's all the exciting news and updates we have for now. Before I get into the Virgo full moon, I do have, would like to touch a little bit on the Pisces season energy, because that's still playing a really big role as we have finally gotten out of retrograde season. As you could imagine, all the past things that retrograde kind of had us going back, rethinking, redoing, relearning, reviewing, kind of just had us, kind of stuck. So if you felt stuck from that, which I feel like we're all in some kind of way not going to be stuck, but constantly in review, right? Because we have a massive change going on. It's not just like an everyday personal change. These planets are generational planets. This is things that are going to be taking place, changing consistently over, I believe, the next 20 years, if you want my honest opinion. So with that being said, Pisces season rules. So Pisces rules the 12th house. It's the last zodiac of the sign, and Pisces is ruled by the planet Neptune, and Pisces rules illusions, delusions, dreams, addictions, asylums, prisons, hospitals, retreats. Or like retreating, to be in seclusion, in working behind the scenes, doing things with, just resting and doing things for yourself. It could also be a spiritual aspect to it with that retreat. So meditating is another way to get away behind the scenes, under the surface, dealing with the subconscious mind. Yoga, things of this nature can take place here as well. Natural healing modalities, or deeper spiritual modalities, things that allow you to go deep and into the subconscious to understand things, to get answers. Your creativity, it's a very mystical energy, it's very creative energy, dance, music here, in fashion in some shape or form, plays out here as well, in Hollywood. So that esoteric knowledge comes in here a little bit, where we're breaking down and decoding things to understand things. The darker things, the hidden messages and things, I think that about covers it. just a little update about that, but I think with that Virgo full moon energy, Virgo rules health, hygiene, natural healing, using discernment. It's ruled by Mercury, So there is a high level of intelligence playing out here, but mental energy as well. But discernment, stepping back to think things through, to make good decisions. There's also very critical, analytical energy, so being very critical and analytical at this time. Positive thinking. Virgo also rules like feng shui, and there's a natural healing modality element here too, because it's an earth sign. So I think we can see, we can have a lot of things come out at this time around the vaccines. I did a post about this with that Pluto and Capricorn energy squaring Uranus, Mars, Saturn, where we're again just really going back to everything that we learned last year and making sure that we're staying on track with that focus, really narrowing in on finding out who we are and our deepest, darkest desires. What is it who do we want to be in this new hour, right? This new season. I think that we could see a lot of things coming out about the vaccines, with all that health and natural healing energy. I think people will adopt more natural healing modalities in their everyday life. Virgo rules health, daily routine, your work environment, your co-workers, pets. So now that our work routines have all come within the home, I think having a lot of things around cleanliness, hygiene, and healthcare in general. So, how are we being sure that we're incorporating cleanliness in there? And if you do take the vaccine and you end up going to work, how are you going to be on top of your hygiene and being cleanliness? We could probably see a lot of laws change around this with that Sagittarius energy. But I definitely think universal healthcare and universal systems in general we can see. I talked about this in my webinar for career and business trends for 2020, 2021, and 2022. I highly suggest you go back and check out that video. It's like an hour and a half long where I break all these different trends down. Sorry about that. I think a lot of criticism and beliefs around vaccines, a lot of people clashing over this, not agreeing with this, and then clashes over the healthcare. They don't want us on all one system because it's going to change the way we do our taxes. I don't think we'll get the tax benefits anymore. Everybody is going to literally be on the same playing fields, and although that's a good thing, I think things would be a lot cheaper, or things might be a little bit more affordable as far as healthcare and those other systems, but prices might go up because of that too. And then again, like I said, you're not going to get that tax benefit. So it's going to be super, super crucial to tapping into that residual income, other ways of bringing in income. So, making sure that you're investing, you are selling life insurance, drop shipping. I did a video on this too where I talked about a bunch of different options that you can do. Coming together with people to barter your services and things of that nature. I might do some more around. I think I did some posts back a while back too on the 7 streams of income. Making sure you have all of those in place is going to play a major role moving forward as far as, how are you going to survive financially moving forward. Yeah. And with Jupiter in Aquarius, that's going to move things, that's going to speed things up very, very quickly through so fast developments in science and innovation. And then Saturn in Aquarius will retrograde in April or May, bringing that reality check to everything that Jupiter is going to rush through. Just much like that kind of, okay, what do we need? What don't we need? And how can we build a structure around that? So the year 2020, whatever happened, we're going to see a lot more of that. Smaller doses, not as intense, but that kind of reality check, like, oh, okay, this doesn't work because blah, 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 blah. So we're just learning, right? It's a lot of trial and error here. And because we have Uranus, and Uranus is science and innovation. Taurus is our body and agriculture. There could be new machines around agriculture, food shortages, new technology having to do with the body. Again, go back to that webinar. I break all this stuff down on a pretty big level. Uranus also rules electricity, so we could be really wired at this time. And Uranus doesn't move into Pluto until 2023, and then it'll be in Aquarius until 2044. So again, that mental energy, Pluto is going to elevate the heck out of Aquarius. It's going to be breaking some things down, because that's just what Pluto does, to rebuild things back up. So it's more, building and learning. I can't stress enough, if you have not watched my mental health video, that you go back and watch that video to see the different themes that can come up with mental health. It's going, I see this growing on a pretty big scale. Another theme that we could see more of is new social concepts. So like back in the 60s, when this energy was very prevalent, to be more specific, 1962, with the hippie era. If you didn't watch my the Great Conjunction video, I will go back and watch that video again, where I talk more about that. But interestingly enough, the hippie era, we're going to be kind of reliving that time. So those new social concepts could be like things like susus. So I don't know if anybody knows what these are, but like people coming together to work together. I broke this down in pretty much all my Aquarius videos, so I highly strongly go back and listen to all that stuff. But making sure that you have a plumber in your circle of friends, a laundromat, a farm, whatever it is that you're trying to build around, making sure that you have everybody who specializes in your circle with that, right? And then money, right? Because money's going to be scarce. Especially if they already started talking about the Bitcoin. I said this, I wish I had the time to go back to my videos to tell everybody that this was going to happen. In fact, I think it was my Taurus and Uranus video, which was a long time ago. I talked about this, that they were going to come up with their own Bitcoin to try to normalize Bitcoin. But if you do it through the government, it's going to be more of the same thing with money. They'll have access to all of your money. You could lose it and not get it back. And even though it's the same thing outside of the government, those same things are possible. It's yours. It's the freedom of and not having to do with, whatever laws and structures and systems they come up with for you. That's the difference, and that's the important piece to understand and decide for yourself. What do you want? And I know that a lot of that's going to come with that fear from Saturn and Pluto that's going to be playing a big role in. We don't know how to live. We don't know how to survive on our own. We have been slaves to the systems and structures for so long, and they weren't teaching us these things. So people, I cannot stress enough to do your own research. Take a class to understand it more. Get some books and start reading more. If you're not a reader, do audio. There is no reason why you can't learn these things. However you learn, call me. Get a reading. I can help you with that too. Come up with a plan to help you map that stuff out so you can at least do the research before you make the decision. And if you still come to the conclusion, which people will, they will just relate security to having somebody else do their stuff for them, which is perfectly fine if that's what you choose. If you are looking for real freedom, which is a lot more scarier, I'm not going to sell anybody anything else. You do have to get stable. So that means, getting your credit score, and know that you're taking the steps to do all of these things. It's not going to come tomorrow. It is a long-term investment in general, not just about investing, but this entire process comes with time. But if you do take the time, build a support system around these new systems that you're trying to build, and take it one day at a time, especially with this full moon. It's all about structuring and putting these intentional things in place one day at a time, and know that the outcome is financial freedom, is freedom in general. You will not regret it. Saturn is a tough sign. Saturn is very strict and responsible. It's going to teach you how to be responsible, but it gives rewards to those who put in that hard work to do that. You will not go unnoticed within this process. So I say all that to say, I think one of the things that also comes up with these social constructs is to build with people doing these susus. So family, one person puts in $500 in a pot, $300 in a pot, on a monthly basis, and then you give it to one person. Then each and every person every month puts in that $300 and gives it to every person until every person has received, whatever that is. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's $1,500 for until every person gets that $1,500. These are other ways that you can think about making money, because it is going to be scarce. And if you don't know how to function or work Bitcoin, and you still got to learn, even if no matter what system you choose, the liability is huge, right? So really thinking about new ways to make money, and doing your research on that, and building a system and structure around that with people that you can trust, people with like minds. Yes, so we'll see a lot of those. That's kind of what the hippies were doing back in the 60s. So we're activating that energy. Another thing I wanted to talk about is what was it, on the 21st, 2 days ago, on the 21st, the story came out about Malcolm X, and how they're finally admitting that he was murdered. It was a setup, right? I can't stress enough how they are reliving these paradigms to keep us in this old system. Do your own research, believe your own stories, but I say all that to say Minister Louis Farrakhan was accused of having something to do with Malcolm X's death. The same way, which I don't find to be a coincidence, the Black Panther Party. I don't know if anybody's seen the remake of that movie. How they showed that, they had, what was it, Fred? I'm not going to use names because I don't know names. But they had the black guy setting up the head of the Black Panther Party, and that was kind of the downfall of the Black Panther Party. Just remember that storyline has been played out in every single circle of any kind of black establishment that we've had ever, right? All they have done is try to break down what we've done. Then they take it and steal it and turn it into theirs. What are you talking about, Keisha? Every after school, lunch, breakfast program in schools today came from the Black Panther Party. So I say all that to say, just be alert, be aware, do your own research, know your enemy, know who your friends are, consistently be holding people accountable to what it is you want to surround yourself with, especially in Pisces season. Pisces rules deceit, and people trying to take advantage of you. Just be mindful, right? Be mindful. Understand that story and how they're just so happens that these things are coming out all around the same time is not a coincidence. Okay, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. So now, this Virgo full moon, a beautiful time indeed. Virgo full moons are revealing something for all of us at this time. You can feel alone. The full moon may be showing you things that you lost touch with, perhaps retreating, knowing how to take time for yourself, resting, and you could be really trying to implement that. It's going to be in opposition. The Virgo full moon is at the top of the chart, and then you have all the other planets down at the bottom with the sun and Pisces. So, you could really be feeling alone, feeling like you got so much to do and just not enough time to get it done, or just being super scattered and not being able to narrow in and hone in. Okay, what do I really have to do? Let's decompartmentalizing is something that Virgos are specialize in. So really tapping in to that Virgo energy and taking this time to get organized, and taking time for yourself. So there could be a lot of that coming up at this time. Pisces sun will conjunct Venus. Again, taking a break or a vacation at this time is highly supported. Pisces can be kind and compassionate. This is a time for forgiveness, giving back, but again, that Virgo full moon is like, I have stuff to do. I have to get things done, especially if you felt pulled back by that Mercury and Aquarius retrograde. It's going to intensify. So again, really allow yourself, if you know your body and you're like, okay, I don't have the energy for this, don't fight it. Take a nap, retreat, watch a movie with the kids. Pisces rules Hollywood, so watching movies and having bigger conversations with us, catching up with the family, just taking a step back from that day-to-day hustle and bustle, especially now with work being in remote, so it's clashing with where you used to do retreating and being at home. But now your home has been invaded by work, and you're like, how do you disconnect? How do you shut it down? So taking the time to put a plan in place for that. Like, how are you going to manage that? On the high vibration, this full moon could be a very productive full moon because Virgo represents the steps to take, how to be efficient, one day at a time, completing your to-do list. So having these things in place, what are my things to do today? And making sure that each of them have breaks in there as well. And give yourself a break. Alone time and privacy. Very, very important, not just for this full moon, but a time to implement that for the foreseeable future, right? And then you have Uranus connected to this full moon. This could speed things up. I've been warning y'all since last year with all this air energy. Once we move out of Pisces season, look, okay? We're going to speed up real fast. Air energy is the fastest moving energy out of all the zodiacs. And anytime it's going to clash with any cardinal signs, it's going to speed up even more. And anytime it comes together with any fire signs, that's going to speed up even more. Like, we're going to have periods of time where it's literally going to see like, yo, where'd the time go? But, you know, feeling super productive because it's an earth sign. So this could be things that are tangible and practical. Like you see the rewards for it in real time. Like you apply for a credit card. You get the credit card and now you can spend the money and you're getting your pots and pans or, you know, whatever it is you're getting with your credit card. And that's instantaneous, you know, step by step taking place. You see it, you know. And then you'll see that progression of that over the next 6 months. So whatever it is that you're taking tangible, practical steps with, you'll see it over the next 6 months. So the next Virgo new moon, you can expect to see all the fruits of whatever it is that comes for you at this time, which is exciting. I wish people would like leave messages and say like, yo, this is what I love to hear those types of things. But and then we have all planets direct for the next 2 months, also adding forward momentum. Like, finally, but stay grounded, stay tapped into that Taurus Earth energy. And then Uranus will square Saturn. We're still figuring things out, where change has taken place, you know, what are we doing different to align with our deepest desires, you know, how are we implementing our CEO within ourselves in our daily life, what are we bossing up in, what are we leveling up in, but at the root of what it is we truly want out of life. Not just work and career, although this has a lot to do with the nodes. And I think I'm going to do a post on that too, but and just be talking about it more in general with my services changing, but you know, aligning with your purpose, your mission in this lifetime. So Mercury is still in Aquarius, bringing massive new ideas, fast movement and inspiration. And like I said, Saturn is going to be there the whole way through, like sifting through everything, making sure you stay grounded and adding those grounding structures within your fast movement of success and happiness and inspiration, and making sure that nobody's being unrealistic. Saturn is going to make sure that it's adding that reality check every step of the way. And that's on a personal level. And then on a global level, you know, you're going to have a lot of laws coming in and changing. And again, a lot of people disagreeing and agreeing. And, you know, how are we going to come together? Are they not going to care? Because I don't think they do that well any damn way. But I digress. We're just going to see a lot of these changes taking place globally. So whatever's happening in our personal life, a lot of health things going on. So making sure you're checking in with your local what do they call it? Department of Public Health, to see, what your law, know your rights, your human rights, making sure that don't let them slide on that. But also, how do you need to structure your everyday life around that? Do you want to be a part of that? These are going to be some of the things that come up. Are you still in alignment with the beliefs of this country? Is the country still in alignment with the beliefs of this country? A lot of these types of conversations, changes, and things are going to come up, rechanging, redoing, reassessing, reevaluating, reviewing. It's going to be pretty consistent around health, vaccines, work, daily work, on a pretty massive scale. So I hope this information was helpful. Peace.